What's up guys, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Asus ROG Falchion RX low profile wireless gaming keyboard. This thing is an absolute beast. $169, and this thing is feature packed to the brim. In my opinion, this is a lot more interesting than their original Falchion keyboard that appearance wise did not really have too much going for it except for a touchpad on the side, but this one has been completely redesigned, and quality wise it feels absolutely fantastic. When you pull it out of the box, it actually comes with this dust cover that you can also use as like another level of height adjustability. It's pretty much just like a base that you can have, so it raises it up just a tiny bit, you know, a couple millimeters, but you really don't even have to use this because it does have some pretty nice integrated kickstand. So I usually use it at this first kickstand level, but you can make it completely flat. Quite frankly, the rubber feet are really good. Just taking a quick tour around the keyboard as well. Nice plastic back. You have an aluminum rim and top plate as well. A button here to control what the touchpad does, so you can swipe your finger across this touchpad. Right now it's doing the volume, but if I wanted to change what the touchpad does, I press the button. Now it can play, pause music, and control media as far as like fast forward, rewind. Now it can control the brightness of the keyboard, RGB as well, and it's got this nice ROG light area right here too, just to kind of let you know what you're doing and how far you're going, but that's pretty slick. And then you can also set up custom modes in Asus's Armory Crate software as well. Then on the other side, we have the power switch where you can use it wired, wireless via the 2.4 gigahertz, 1000 hertz connection, or Bluetooth modes as well. And then there's also a PC and Mac toggle switch as well for whichever layout that you prefer. Then your USB Type-C port, and then you also have storage for the dongle built into the keyboard. There are a couple different switch options as well. You have a red linear switch that we do have today, and then there is also the blue clicky and tactile switch that is available. Quite frankly, the red linears are really good. All the switches and the stabilizers are also lubed as well. And as far as the UV coating on the ABS keycaps, it is pretty good. I can't really complain yet. I've only been using this keyboard for a couple weeks at this point, and the UV coating has held up quite well. And then the integrated sound dampening is absolutely fantastic. This thing does not have any ping in it at all, and that's partially due to how the switch is designed as well. The spring is pretty much supposed to be silent, so you're not going to hear any spring ping or echo inside of this board. The dongle here is also the ROG Omni receiver, so you can connect multiple devices to this. If you have, you know, an ROG mouse and keyboard, you can use this one dongle to connect them both at the same time. And it's probably going to be a good idea to use the extender that comes with it as well, so you don't have this super far away from your device plugged into the back of your PC or something. So just take a USB cable, plug that into the back of your PC, and then leave the extender on your desk. Performance wise, the keyboard looks and feels fantastic. It's a very premium design. The aluminum top plate with the nice ROG accents and the light bar at the top, the touchpad. This thing, when you pick it up for $169, just looks and feels and sounds premium. Truthfully, I would just have one con at just not having double shot PBT keycaps, just because I prefer the feel and also the longevity of never really having to worry about the keycaps catching shine. And it hasn't happened the first couple of weeks with quite a bit of hours on this board. I do imagine that it will probably happen at some point, but only time will tell. But so far it is doing pretty good, and truthfully I cannot tell any signs of wear on the keycaps, and they feel exactly the same as they did brand new. Realistically guys, this thing is an absolutely fantastic keyboard for the price. Asus, they do test their latency quite a bit just to make sure that everything is nice and reliable, so this is something that I would definitely feel comfortable recommending to somebody that does play at a very high competitive level to use it in its wireless configuration with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. The battery life on this thing is absolutely insane. Like I said, I've been using this thing for a couple weeks and I have not plugged it in to charge it once. The only time that I plugged it in is once to update the firmware on both the dongle and the keyboard itself, and that only took, you know, a couple minutes, but they do rate this thing at like 400 hours with the RGB set to 50%, and then over 500 hours if you're using this thing in the Bluetooth mode with no RGB, which is probably pretty accurate because at Bluetooth your polling rate is going to drop down from being that 1000 with a 2.4 gigahertz dongle connected, probably down to about 250 or 125. But if you're just typing and not really gaming, it's not that big of a deal. I definitely do recommend checking out this keyboard if you are in the market for a new one and you happen to love 65% like I do. Even if you don't like 65%, at least give it a shot because this thing is so sick. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I really don't have any complaints. Again, for the price, pretty good deal. I'll see you guys in the next video.